Welcome back to The Word on the Street Is with Gabby and Michael, where we mention it all about your favorite Bravo celebrities and the shows that they star in.
Hello, welcome. We are on episode 15 already, which feels like we just started.
And
Um,
we're at over 800 downloads. So we just wanted to say a gigantic thank you to you all. Um, we get like sweet comments and messages saying that you all are really enjoying this, and we really enjoy creating this podcast. So it's just really fulfilling that our Bravo friends near and far are also enjoying this podcast.
yeah, we really appreciate all the love and support. I think we've both said that we really just do it for fun. We love talking about the shows, and it's kind of like our Bravo therapy session. But it's just a super fun hobby, and we're just really happy that you guys are enjoying it as well.
Yeah, it's a great outlet. And on top of that, we just hit 200 followers on our Word on the Street is Instagram, where we're always posting about Bravo news as it's happening. And I'm really into what all the housewives are wearing. And so I'm always posting about that too. If you're into the Bravo celebrities' closets and their fashions, we also
Mhm.
post about that too, which is another like fun little outlet for us.
Yeah, it's been super fun hobby.
Yeah, definitely one of the lighter parts of the pandemic has been this podcast. So just a huge thank you.
And we've gotten to connect with so many other Bravo lovers. We've had a lot of guests on here, and it's just been a really great way to meet new people as well.
Yeah, bright spot for sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to kick off episode 15 with the first part of the OC reunion.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're only one episode away from the season being over, so that's a positive.
Yes, thank God. So this reunion, I mean, we learned that it's only going to be a two-part reunion, which is like unheard of in OC because it's been a three-parter for as long as I can remember. Maybe the last two-part was like when Lynn Curtin was on OC.
Yeah, I think so. Like season 5 or 4.
Yeah, like it's been a hot minute since the last time we
Yeah.
had a two-part reunion.
And I saw today that Salt Lake is for its first season is getting a 3-part reunion.
Yes,
So
Mary Cosby confirmed that today that
yeah,
we're getting a three-part reunion, which is unheard of in the first season of a Real Housewives franchise.
yeah. But good for Salt Lake. Um, so yeah, this part, I feel like the first part is like always, especially the first half of the first part is just like chatting and like bullshitting, like really nothing that exciting, and then it always ends on a cliffhanger, which this cliffhanger was, if we're just gonna get into it, was Shannon saying that at their very first beach barbecue when I don't how old was Stella was like 14. Bronwyn said, if you want the good stuff, then hit me up or text me, something along the lines of that. While I think it's bad, I feel like it really wasn't like relevant to what was happening right now. That's my opinion.
It felt like a desperate grasp for straws.
Yeah. And we saw Shannon like in the backstage saying like, well, I'm gonna bring it up because Bronwyn's saying stuff. Like, I feel like she just like had it in her back pocket in case like Bronwyn was acting up. It didn't even feel like it was like that big of an issue.
Yeah, I think Shannon, the more I think about it, is desperate to have a storyline to continue to stay on OC because
Yeah.
OC, I don't think she will have anything. Like she lost David, like the girls are older, and the show is like I think it's a big deal to her. So I think Shannon, that's why she continues to be so dramatic. And granted,
Mhm.
I do think that Shannon is inherently dramatic, but I think she cranks it up because she doesn't want to lose this show.
Yeah, I agree. It's like Vicky and Tamara are the same way. Now look at them because they're not on the show. It's all they talk about. And I feel like if Shannon was off the show like them, she'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Tamara and Vicky, clearly, Vicky for sure really wants to be back
Oh,
on. Tamara is
Tamara too, though.
TikToks about her like flying in to save OC. I know.
I mean, literally, and I hate Tamara, but I mean, I kind of agree. I don't wouldn't say that she would save it, but like she would at least give us some more drama. But
Yeah, if Tamara comes back, I won't be upset about that at all. She's not one of my favorite housewives, but like I want her to come back. She's like a bad movie on an airplane, like you're watching it and you're like, whatever. But then once it's over, you're bummed,
yeah,
like how Tamara is.
and I wasn't bummed when she got fired, but I mean, it's just the cast is so bad that literally I would take her back at this point.
Which is saying something because I don't think I've ever heard you call Tamara Tamra. You call her Tamrat.
Tamrat, yep, that's who she is.
um Kelly, just like we already were like super done with her, but now she's just like, I think she's unredeemable at this point.
No, I mean, I think her true colors are showing. They've been showing, but just she just says such dumb stuff, so ignorant. Like about a mask. Oh, does your pants protect you from a fart? Like
That
it's just laughable. It's so stupid.
like that was like the stupidest comparison I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know if she's like trying to be funny or like I was just so dumb. Like I mean I'm not gonna go into detail, but like they don't even compare.
Yeah, and I actually really like that Andy kept pressing her, and then of course she had to flip it to like, what do you want me to say, Andy? Like, it's been really hard. What do you want me to say? Like, you're making it worse. What sympathy are you expecting?
Yeah, it was like a little child, like, what more do you want from me? Like so whiny and like
It was. And like Andy, I really didn't see Andy wavering on her.
no.
He kept true to
But
his feeling, and he just felt
yeah,
like he was full of it.
I like that he did bring up like because I know at the beginning of the season, so many people were boycotting. And there's like I listened to Bitch Sesh and they said like this was the first season in like years that they weren't gonna cover
Mhm.
because of Kelly. And I know a lot of like Bravo historian wasn't watching, like a lot of big Bravo accounts were not watching because of her. So I'm glad that he did bring it up. The thing is, I feel like a lot of those people aren't her fan base and aren't OC fan base. It's a lot more conservative people. So I feel like although a lot of people were boycotting and complaining, it wasn't the big viewers that were straying away from the show still. So my fear is that Kelly doesn't get fired.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. Like a big part of me feels like OC won't get a 16th season because of the reunions being shortened. But the other part of me is like, I don't know if Bravo is able to let go of this franchise.
I know because it's just weird because they were able to let go of Miami so quickly after 3 seasons, but I feel like they just need to learn to like let go of things. And I think we're in like a transition period on Bravo in general, where like Vanderpump Rules, they're all kind of growing up and we're kind of over it. And I feel like they need to learn to let that go. I think they probably need to let go of Southern Charm. I think they need to let go of OC. There's just a lot of shows that I feel like they're just trying so hard to hold on to. And it's like, I think we all just want new stuff.
I think so too.
So we'll see. I mean, I really could see it getting canceled, but I could really see them trying to give it another season. So it'll be interesting.
Well, we'll see what happens with OC in the second part of the reunion,
Yeah.
but I don't
We
care that much.
Our girl Talk of Shame, Kiki, who we had on last week, posted something on her Instagram where obviously we seen the preview. Kelly says she's black, which is like so ridiculous for her to say, and then on Talk of Shame's post, there was a screenshot from Kelly's 23andMe where it said basically she had African in her and it was like literally less than 3%. Like,
I mean, it's like it feels very like similar to people that say, I'm not racist, my best friend's black.
yeah.
It just sounds like it sounds very ignorant, and as usual,
It's
I don't.
worse than that, I think, honestly. Like 3%, that's not even, you're still white passing. That's not any part of your upbringing or your culture or anything. It's just laughable and really just ignorant and disgusting to say. Like,
Yeah, Kelly doesn't know what she's talking about. It's she just keeps like spewing out these really offensive things and then like looking around saying like, why is everyone mad?
yeah, and she just like uses this like minority card whenever somebody calls her out, saying like, well, you can't, like, being Mexican doesn't mean you can't be racist.
I'm hopeful if there is a 16th season, but I don't know what to think at this point.
Yeah. I think if Kelly stays, then the show stays in the same trajectory. I think if Kelly goes, then, I think there's potential for like Tamara to come back and maybe Heather and maybe to keep Bronwyn and have it in that trajectory, which I think could be okay. But if Kelly stays, it's just going to stay the way it is.
Yeah, which I have no interest in.
Yeah. I think for sure if Kelly stays and there's a 16th season, I'm definitely boycotting. Like, I really wanted to give this season a chance, but I really can't do it anymore with her, especially seeing the Bravo historian stuff. I can't.
Yeah.
So, one more episode. Thank God. Hopefully Kelly Dodd's last.
So now that we have covered the first part of the reunion of OC, we are going to head on over to Salt Lake City, which is infinitely better.
Yes, definitely. Although I always say I'm a little disappointed in Salt Lake. Like, this was a fun episode, but like for a cast trip, I wanted more.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it definitely, as we've talked about before, the season started off really strong and it's kind of dwindling, but I think it'll pick up for the finale, is my hope.
Yeah.
I was like pretty horrified watching Meredith shopping with Brooks. Like that was such a low cut top.
Was.
I was like, my God, I wouldn't wear that grocery shopping ever, much less with my son.
Yeah. Yet her son was so disgusted by Jen doing a high kick, but there's your mom's titties right there, and you got no issue. So just saying. With now,
Double standard much?
yeah, and now Meredith and Jen have been beefing on social media over that issue again. That's been brought up again. So
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to stay friends after the show.
it definitely feels like obviously Heather has a lot of insecurity with like Meredith and Lisa, and I feel like Jen it has been showing her loyalty towards Heather lately, so I feel like she's going to stay on that side, which I'm hopeful for.
Yeah. Well, I loved seeing Heather going on a date. Like the whole date was like hysterical to
Mhm.
me. Like when she said, this feels like a sober TED talk, that
Yeah,
had me on the floor.
the whole thing. I just love Heather's humor because it's like kind of is cynical the right word? She's kind of like self-deprecating, like when she was talking about she was explaining Big Daddy or Big Easy, whatever his name was, and she's like, he's alive. And she's like, yeah, I like what Jen's doing.
I thought it was super funny. I mean, the whole date seemed like really awkward, and I've been on
Yeah.
a date like that where the guy you're talking to, like, he won't stop talking about something, and it's like so uninteresting. Like, you could tell, like, the fact that the Bravo producers, bless the Bravo producers, when they were showing the time at the bottom for how long he was talking, it was so funny to me.
Yeah, I will never do blind dates because it just seems horrifying. And then like his drinks, and I love how Heather was like, Big Daddy is drinking like a big baby.
Well, I Heather's whole, like, every bit of commentary she had about this date was like top
I
notch.
love all of her commentary. I think she's just so funny, but she's not like over the top about it.
So when we learned that Big Easy also was being called Big Daddy by Heather, all I could think of was Big Papa from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kim Zolciak's sugar
Uh,
daddy, who was married, by the way. Like
yeah,
we talked about that in one of our early episodes of this podcast. Literally, Kim had a sugar daddy, Big Papa, which we all know about. That's good and well. But he was
yeah,
married the whole time he was having this affair with Kim. And
it's,
his name was Big Papa because he was too big of a celebrity to share.
yeah. Or he just didn't want to out the fact that he was married.
I'm thinking it was that because when
Yeah.
we all found out the identity of Big Papa, like he's
I,
just a realtor, like he's not
yeah,
Brad Pitt.
exactly. Well, and then we were starting to get into the Vegas trip. I was just really disappointed in Mary not going, especially because the issue is the main drama is Jen and Mary. So then if Mary's not there, there's no drama. Or it revolves around Mary, but then she's not there. So then it's not fun.
Yeah, I'm so sick of this being like what the fourth or fifth episode now that Mary has like a small cameo in.
Yeah. And I know she filmed as a friend. So I know that that may have had like an impact, but it's still just disappointing. I really need more of Mary. If she stays, I got to see more of her.
Yeah, I'm really over like the fact that Mary had such a big buildup in the promotion
Yeah.
of the show, and there was no hint that she was going to be like barely in the show at all. I'm very surprised.
Yeah. It felt like they used Mary for like the shock value because like she's kind of outrageous, she's kooky, and she married her step grandpa. So I feel like they used that to like at the beginning to get viewers, and then they were like kind of weaning off of her. But like we actually need her, so like you can't do that to us.
Yeah, I agree. And what are our thoughts on the Vegas trip? Did it feel like a fun cast trip? Like what do we think?
It was okay so far. There really wasn't group stuff. Like I like the scene of Heather and um Jen shopping. I thought that was fun. I thought that was cute that Jen wanted to like really treat Heather, and I thought they had some fun moments. The race car was kind of funny just because Lisa is Lisa. And I will say Lisa's growing on me. I think she's just like funny. Like she's always contradicting herself, and I don't know. Something about her is growing on me.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny how like she didn't RSVP to the trip, but she was like in Vegas. And like when Whitney was like asking if she was there, she's like, well, yeah, I'm here working. With detail. Lisa just like she's something else.
Yeah, I actually think she has a lot of potential as like a really iconic housewife. I just think like Meredith is kind of holding her back.
Oh, you think Meredith's holding her back? Why is that?
Because Meredith, I really don't think has anything to offer, more to offer us.
Uh,
I, I mean, I think that they have a nice friendship, but like, I want Lisa on her own. I don't need Lisa and Meredith as a package deal.
hmm. Yeah, I don't see Meredith leaving anytime soon with her company, her like storyline with her husband and her son. I'd be surprised if like Meredith left after like 2 seasons. I see her staying for the long haul.
I can see either her staying. I don't see her going after this season. I can see her staying one more season and having like a big fight or something and then her being done. Or I could see her staying long, but I'm not entirely sure. I could see Lisa and maybe Lisa and Meredith getting into a fight and then her being done. I don't know. Season two is like always like a really season two is always good because they have like the season one jitters out and they kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I definitely think the cast and the show has a lot of potential. It's definitely a first season, but I am hopeful for season two.
I am too. I'm really excited for season 2. I can't wait for the reunion.
Yeah.
I think
And
Mary's going to get to like unleash a lot of the feelings that she has towards Jen because she wasn't able to express them because she was originally supposed to be a
yeah. Yeah. I'm hopeful that Mary stays, but I think the reunion will be telling on her fate. But I honestly I could skip to the reunion right now. I feel like the drama that we're gonna get in Vegas is just gonna be a repeat of what we've been getting with Jen kind of blowing up and the other girls kind of like trying to console her, and I don't know. I just feel like we're not gonna get anything else that I'm like super excited about at this
Yeah.
point.
I will say I thought Whitney's extensions looked amazing.
Yeah, she always looks amazing to me.
Like there's no hairstyle she can't rock. Like she has
Yeah.
the face. She can do a bob. She can do long
Mhm.
hair. She can do curly. Um, I love seeing Whitney's like hair evolution. So now that we're wrapping up talking about Salt Lake City, we're going to travel over to Charleston, South Carolina to cover the second part of the Southern Charm finale.
Well, this part was definitely worth it to have a two-part finale because this for me was the best episode of the season, and I feel like there's actually finally a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, I think drunk Madison when she's like feeling like really spiteful is really funny.
Yeah, I like Madison a lot. I think she's funny and I think she's like feisty
I don't
and
condone her like being drunk and mean, but like when she told Austin he needed to sit at the end of the table where he belonged, like I thought that was really funny because I don't
uh,
like Austin and
yeah.
I think he just sucks overall.
Oh
So
yeah. I
I thought,
condone her being mean to Austin.
yeah, it's really funny when Madison like really busts his chops.
And it just feels like there's such a double standard with them too. Like Austin, he can like go be with whatever chick, but then like the whole Pringle thing, he got so upset about. And I don't know. I mean, it's just so toxic. I really don't need that relationship to continue on.
Yeah, I'm over it. And like moving into Catherine, I am so done with Catherine. I really hope that Bravo does not have her on next season. And
Mhm.
just her like complaining that her friends weren't defending her in her actions. It's like because your actions are indefensible, that they if they defended you, that would show up poorly on them that they agree with your actions, which they don't. And Catherine can't comprehend that.
Exactly. And everything, like every conversation she has, especially the one that she had with Gwen's Madison, was just it's just very telling. She starts off by saying, "I'm not racist." And you know me, I'm not racist. That's all she says. She doesn't own anything she says. She doesn't take accountability for what she says. She doesn't, realize that what she said is wrong. She just says, "Well, I'm not racist and you should know that and you should defend that." And that's not okay.
Yeah, Catherine doesn't seem to understand that like your actions speak so much louder than your words. Like she does not understand that. And it just Catherine is so she's not intelligent and she doesn't know what she's talking about, and she keeps saying the same thing over and over again. Like it's almost like she thinks if she says it enough it's going to change what her friends think.
Yeah. And all we want is just some accountability and it's not happening. She just plays victim, and that's really it with her. Then she runs away from every conversation. Nothing
Yeah,
really happens.
I
Um,
didn't see the like argument and now it seems like feud occurring between Danny and Madison. That was pretty surprising to me.
that was so funny and so random. Like I felt like Danny and Catherine were sort of getting somewhere, and then Madison just like was like being Madison and like came and destroyed it. But it
Yeah.
was so funny when Danny's like, "I'm about to smack you off this dock."
I thought Madison came in like a bull in a china shop in that
Yeah,
conversation. Like it was
completely.
so the wrong time.
I
Had nothing to do with her.
I understand what she was trying to do. Like she was just sick of like everyone like talking about it and just like having like a big sit down. But like if as a viewer and you're seeing this conversation, it's like no, they're actually sort of getting somewhere, and then you're like ruining it. So I understand why Danny was mad, but like Madison made a good point. Danny does kiss Catherine's ass a lot.
She does. I think Danny is like holding on to the friendship that her and Catherine once had that was much simpler.
Yeah,
And like I think she really does love Catherine, and Danny seems a bit naive and kind-hearted to me.
yeah.
why she can't seem to let go of this relationship with Catherine. And
Yeah.
I can't fault her for that. Sometimes it's really hard to let go of someone you love and you
Yeah.
care about.
I totally get that. And I'm the same way. Like even with my Bravo celebrities, it's hard when they do something that I dislike to like for me to really let go of them. But and this is obviously different, but I get that. And I feel like that the last conversation that they all had was like we were finally getting something from Catherine, but at the same time, like no, like when they brought up the minority comment and she's literally said, I don't people that's what's wrong with Charleston, people using their minority card. And then her response to that was like, well, I don't think I meant anything about a minority. Well, what did you mean? You literally said minority in your comment. Like, are
Yeah,
you done?
you can't play dumb and also say you're really smart at the same time. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
And
That was
Catherine is playing dumb, and and it's all like she's been caught red-handed because she's saying, "Oh, I don't really know what I meant by a minority." Well, when you tell someone stop using your minority claim, it's ruining Charleston. What
yeah,
did you mean by that?
exactly. And like all the girls are understanding, like we get that you were standing up for your friend. That wasn't the issue. But when you bring race and you say literally racist things, that's an issue. And you need to, and it's not about defending your friend at that point. You need to own up that those comments were wrong.
So something Kiki, who we had on our podcast last week, has talked about is she doesn't believe in cancel culture. She believes in course correction. And I really, really like that because it gives people a chance to like be better, but at the same time, like if you are just going to keep continuing the same behavior, kind of like Kelly Dodd, then you deserve to be canceled. But
Yeah.
just cancel someone right out the bat without like giving them a chance. Like we all make mistakes. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm the same way. Totally, I'm totally in agreement with that. And that's how I feel with Catherine, like they've given her so many chances at this point that like I'm fine with canceling her at this point.
yeah. Yeah, and it that totally like ties in with everything we've been saying. Like we weren't initially like get Catherine off the show. I actually have been a Catherine fan since the first season,
Me
and
too.
I did want to see her learn from this and be better and just be a better Catherine, but she's not capable of that. And
No.
it just started to get frustrating when like Leva and all the girls kept telling her like the ball's in your court, do the work. And Catherine kept asking like, how can I do it? What can I do? And they just kept saying, do the work. Catherine doesn't understand that. She is not like, she doesn't have the mental capacity to
No.
like go online and like look up an actual history that's not written by a white person or like just educating herself on Jim Crow laws. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
million things she can do, but the girls telling her do the work, that's just falling
Mhm.
on deaf ears. That's like you telling Tinsley, write me like a full essay on the atomic bomb and
E-
make sure it's perfect. It's not possible. And
Exactly.
that's how it is for Catherine. You're like leading a horse to water that doesn't know what water is.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think the only way for her to learn is if she literally like hired a coach or a teacher and like had someone literally like baby her through it because that's been her whole life is being babied. So it's not going to happen. And as we see on the reunion, she is coming at Leva pretty hard. So obviously she did not learn anything. And I think it's a shame because I actually really genuinely think that Leva really tried to help her and Leva didn't have to.
Yeah, and that's why I hated so much that all the white guys on the trip were saying to Leva, "You're a bully." If
Yeah.
would you be saying that to Leva if she was a white man saying that
Yeah.
to her?
And
No.
then John Pringle said it again at the when they were having the final conversation. He's like, "You guys, you're bullying her." It's like, get out of like no one's asking you anything. You are completely irrelevant to this whole season. Like, just go away.
Yeah, I thought John Pringle was like so in the wrong for
Yeah.
coming at Leva again, calling her a bully when I thought he had no basis to call her a bully.
No. It's not even anything that he has anything to do with. So I might also, if like Catherine comes back, I might need to like take a break from Southern Charm as well. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I've given her a lot of chances this season, and I don't even want to be like, well, we'll see at the reunion because I don't expect anything to change. So,
Well, speaking of the reunion, I will say that Madison looked absolutely gorgeous. Like her reunion looked
mhm.
so good.
Yeah, I think she looked the best, and I thought Leva looked good too.
Leva looked good, and like all feelings about Catherine aside, if you just look at Catherine, you don't know anything about her. She looked really good too.
Yeah, she did look really good. I would give her that for
I
sure.
can like still acknowledge like a really good hairstyle and a gorgeous dress and like
Oh
separate
yeah,
it from like the person wearing it. Let's leave this part of the South and head further down south into the ATL,
yep.
where we are like finally getting a little bit more drama and just more period.
Yeah, I feel like the season started so slow. I can't believe it's already episode 7, and I feel like nothing's really happened, unfortunately, which is so not like Atlanta. Um, so Kenya is taking a private jet to South Carolina, of course, and she's only taking Latoya and Brooklyn and the nanny. Now, I don't know if it was a strategic move to take Latoya because that's like not her closest friend, but I don't know.
Okay, quick segue. Why was Brooklyn's face blurred?
Definitely custody.
That was all Mark. Like I when
Yeah,
I saw Brooklyn's face blurred like that, I was like, my God, Mark really has now gone this low. He
yeah,
is such a POS.
yeah. I hate Mark.
He is so horrible. And like I hated the way he treated Kenya when they were married, and like the fact that he now is like requiring her to blur out Brooklyn's face when we've all
Yeah,
seen her. We all know what Brooklyn looks like. She's been on the show.
yeah. Well,
So
we've seen that with a lot of housewives, though. Like Brandy, she was never allowed to show her sons on the show
never
because of
regressed from showing them to not showing them.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like,
I get
Kenya,
what you're saying. I'm just saying there's been a lot of husbands or ex-husbands that have made it so their
yeah,
kids can't be shown. But yeah, like we've already seen Brooklyn, so I don't get
yeah, it makes no
why it's
sense
any
to me.
different. Yeah,
It makes no sense to me.
but it's just like a control thing, I feel like.
Yeah, and I definitely like I'm not surprised by that because Mark's behavior on the show I felt was extremely controlling and possessive, which didn't make sense to me because he also at the same time acted like he didn't care at all about Kenya or their relationship. So
Yeah,
I just feel he's inherently very possessive no matter what's going on in the relationship.
yeah, for sure. Well, back to the private jet thing. What was your thoughts on Kenya only taking Latoya? Because she's a lot closer to Cynthia or Candy.
I thought it was a very big diss, especially to Cynthia. Um, I've never considered Candy and Kenya like BFFs because like
Yeah,
Candy, I feel like has always just kind of tolerated Kenya. Like most of the time, anything Kenya says or does, Candy just is like, okay, all
yeah,
right. Like she like rolls her eyes and just goes along with it. Cynthia, like Cynthia's a little bit more invested in the friendship, I think. Um,
yeah, for sure.
Kenya always has been more invested, period. Like when she said being Cynthia's best friend, I think Kenya has always considered Cynthia a best friend. So it is surprising to me that she wouldn't just like tack on Cynthia to the guest list for the private jet.
Yeah, I feel like that was such a diss to Cynthia. And I think it's funny that now Latoya is called Kenya's friend under her name. It's Kenya's friend, which she was originally Candy's, but I feel like I don't even see Latoya with Candy. It's all Latoya and Kenya now.
Yeah, they've become like the best of friends, and I really think it's because Latoya, she like kisses Kenya's ass. Like she
Hmm.
gave Kenya like her background on her phone, like her log
Yeah,
screen.
it doesn't feel super genuine to me. Like I think that they have fun together, but at the same time it kind of feels more like an alliance to me. Like Kenya finally has someone that's like going to be her minion and kind of do her dirty work like LVP would do with people. And so I feel like it's more of like an
Those
alliance.
What does that say about me? Those are my two favorite housewives.
I
And
know.
LVP. Oh my God. As you say that out loud, that is so
Ooh,
true.
but
They like to have warriors with them more than friends.
yeah, especially LVP. I don't really see Kenya as a manipulator because I think she's very upfront about what she does, but I do feel like she is using Latoya as like a chess piece or as a warrior for her.
Yeah. I feel that the housewives who need warriors like that have massive skeletons in their closet.
Definitely.
Uh,
So we also got Drew hosting a little dinner at her place, which was nice to see more of Drew.
yeah, finally. And her husband was like actually acting like a civilized human and not being like a total ass to her. Like he was being really sweet and like being really attentive to all the ladies. And I was like, where's this guy been? You have been so rude all the time and just being an awful husband.
Mm.
So I mean, it sucks you have to have her friends around to act that way, but it's like, well, I guess I'm glad there's some nice side to him.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, okay, so you only act like that when there's like other people around. So I don't know.
Yeah, and uh, I don't know what her husband's deal is. I feel like we talk about this every week. Like we always circle back to like what the hell is his problem? Why does he think it's okay to leave the house for 3 days at a time and not tell his wife? Like what the hell is this guy's deal?
Yeah, and we never really like went back to that issue. It just kind of like halted.
Yeah, it just ended with her like in tears crying in the bedroom.
Yeah, but we never really got like an answer or like a resolution. So I don't know, maybe at the reunion.
We'll see. But I I love that they showed that clip of Portia singing at the reunion from
Yeah,
years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, that is like such an old Portia. Like we don't even know that Portia
it
anymore.
looks so different too.
She really did. And I have to say, like, when Drew was singing the Amazing Grace song, I was thinking of that early episode of Jersey when Melissa's singing Amazing Grace and
Mhm.
she says wench instead of wretch.
Would you expect anything less from a Jersey girl? No,
Well,
especially Melissa.
Andy even called her out on it at the reunion.
That's so funny.
He was like, wench? Really?
Not surprised. She's not a singer. Anyway, back to Atlanta. So the girls were getting on their bus, and of course, Marlo, being the extra person that she is, came in a whole hazmat suit, which was hilarious.
That was so funny.
I love Marlo.
Like, if everyone took COVID as seriously as Marlo, this all would be over.
I know she comes in a hazmat suit. She has a ruler to count 6 feet. Like she's not playing around.
No, she's not. I thought it was hilarious. I Marlo has really grown on me. I think she is very, very mean, but she's redeemed herself.
So yeah, I think there really wasn't much else with Atlanta. We got Kenya and Latoya picking out the rooms, and of course Kenya gave Marlo the worst room, which was funny.
I thought that
Um,
was hilarious.
but it seems like okay, this episode was really just leading up to next week because now all the girls are finally going to be together. We got Drew is going off, so there's going to be a lot of drama.
I'm really excited to see who Drew like unleashes on because we haven't really seen the side of Drew at all. We've seen like
Yeah,
side of her at home, the side of her that's struggling as like a wife in a marriage that's not so good. So I kind of want to see Drew be like on the higher end of things.
yeah. I think it's gonna be Drew versus either Kenya or Latoya. I feel like that's what they're building up to because we had Drew talking about Latoya's, or we had Latoya talking about Drew's hair.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see. I just can't wait for the bachelorette party to kick off.
Oh my God, so good. I'm ready. But I feel like, okay, finally we're at something. Whereas some of the other cities, I'm like, we're not getting anything.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this week, and I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, same here. Well, let's get into our final show, which is Dallas.
And we started off the episode with like Tiffany doing a medical test about like how she could save a dummy in a situation where somebody is not breathing at all, and she like intubated the dummy. She did all these
Mhm.
things. She passed with flying colors, it seemed like. I love
Yeah.
Tiffany. I really do. She is my favorite Dallas housewife, hands down.
Yeah, I'm really liking her. I don't want to say she's my favorite because like she just started, but I gave like Leah a full season and she's already my favorite. So it's on that trajectory for sure. It's funny because I binged Grey's Anatomy during quarantine, so I was like, oh my God, I like know feel like I know these terms because I watched the show. But I still love her daughter so much, and you could tell that when she was like saying, "Is it okay that I like go to work?" and they were like, "Well, you can stay at home." You could tell that like really genuinely like hurt her, especially because I feel like her parents were like that with her.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love everything Tiffany is bringing to the table as a mom, as a housewife, as a doctor. I just, I mean, I'm sure there is some sense of her that's not completely real, but I feel like she feels real to me for the most part. Like she seems very passionate about her job, and
Yeah,
like she's so loves being a doctor, which I love to see. And for me, I actually never had a favorite on Dallas before Tiffany, so
yeah,
there so far is nothing I dislike about Tiffany. I love how intelligent she is. She's very outspoken. She talks about important issues
yeah,
regarding race and the racism that Asian people and Chinese people in particular face. So
yeah.
I just love what she's bringing to the table. And even though we don't know her terribly well yet, I can't wait to keep getting to know her more. And she is my favorite Dallas house.
Yeah, that's one thing with Dallas for me as well. I liked Brandy a lot at the beginning, but as it's gone on, I just didn't really like her that much. And then I liked Leanne at times for drama, but obviously that didn't work out. And then no one else really like has struck a chord with me. So I'm
Yeah.
hopeful for Tiffany as well. So then we had Carrie sit down with her daughter Olivia, which I really like Olivia. I think we really didn't see much of her last season, but I've been enjoying the scenes with her. Her impression of her mom was so funny.
I know it was hysterical. Like I looked away like to look at an email or like something on my computer, and I thought it was Carrie talking at first, and I looked over and it was her daughter doing the confessional. It was so spot on.
And she's like, "My chickadees, it's our last dinner of me being 49."
And
But and like the
no,
act, it was just so good.
no one cares that you're turning 50.
Yeah, it's true. We
I,
don't care here.
I really like Carrie's daughter, and
Yeah.
I I would love to see more of her this season. And I think we will, since she got a confessional look.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think we will.
I'm noticing like like side note, more and more Bravo kids are getting confessionals. Like
Yeah.
Brooks Marks on Salt Lake City, and
Yeah.
now oh, and Sophie Shannon's daughter now has a
Oh
confession,
yeah.
and
A
now
Jolie.
Jolie just got her first confessional.
I did I think Riley has gotten one.
Riley, yeah, Riley,
Yeah.
I believe, has gotten one as well. And now Carrie's daughter. So I think now it was like a big deal for Bravo to like allow husbands to have confessionals, because like Jersey is really the only city where we consistently see husbands showing up in confessionals. Now Deandra's husband is doing them with her, but now the children showing up for confessionals is a new thing.
I think it's really great that we're seeing more of like kids and side characters. I feel like Bravo has chopped down on like number of full-time housewives, and I think it's a financial thing. So it's nice to at least see more of like the kids and things like that.
I agree. It definitely adds like a new element that we haven't had before.
Yeah. And then so the next scene was Deandra was dropping off her letter to her half brother. And what really cracked me up about that was how she had to hand deliver it because, as Leanne said, the USPS loses 30% of the mail.
Oh my gosh, I love the shade.
Which, okay, that comment is so dumb because I've literally never lost a piece of mail.
I mean, I can count on one hand the amount of times something was supposed to come to my house and it didn't.
Yeah, but not 30%, please.
Yeah, Leanne just is such a crock of shit.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't understand the whole Captain Brandy thing. I don't
it
know.
was like, I laughed because well, the funny part for me was when like Deandra was by herself talking in the Captain Brandy voice, and Tiffany walked in and was like, "There's kids here." That's what cracked me up. That was funny to me.
I just thought the whole thing was so random, didn't make
It was.
sense. And I don't know. I felt kind of I related to Brandy. Like, I don't need someone showing up to my house with my head on a stick
Yeah,
for
it
my
was
birthday.
random. I mean, I thought it was funny, but like,
For
yeah,
Deandra to do it though, I feel like if it had been someone else doing it, if Brandy was doing it with someone else's head on the stick, that would make more sense. And it also just
yeah,
been funnier. Like
yeah,
Deandra wasn't funny with it. And I agree with Cameron. She's like, when Deandra tries to be funny, it's annoying.
yeah. But like Cameron and Carrie are rude. They like I'm over them. They're like, oh, we're gonna steal it and like hide it. I don't know. I don't like them two together.
Yeah, they're an annoying twosome, but I just thought the whole Captain Brandy thing made no sense. Yeah, we were at the vineyard and like Carrie is just like unsufferable. Like she is so mean to Deandra and she's like, "Were you drunk when you planned this party?" Like and like she didn't even say that in like a joking way. Like she said so many mean things to Deandra and like I'm not even a Deandra fan, but I was like, "Carrie, this is someone you call your friend and you treat them this way? What the hell?"
Yeah. I totally agree. And I said this like a couple weeks ago, but it does feel like the same way that like Tamara would treat Shannon. Like she's like, well, Deandra's so needy and it's all about her. And like those are the same things that Tamara would say about Shannon. So I don't know, I get like that same, it's not the same, but like some of the stuff that Carrie says, she like gaslights Deandra like Tamara would to Shannon.
Yeah, she's really
And
mean, and it doesn't seem like there is a valid reason that we see on the
no,
show. Like, obviously, I know there's things that have happened. They both keep referring to these trunk shows where, like,
yeah,
clearly all this shit was going down during these trunk shows
yeah.
that we aren't privy to.
It's like it's not like friendly like banter. It's just like rude and like it doesn't stop and it's annoying.
Yeah,
So
because they keep pretending that they're joking, but then they're making such like harsh jabs that no one is
mhm,
laughing and nobody is taking this as a joke.
yeah, that friendship is going downhill real quick. But like Deandra held her own. I go back and forth on Deandra, but I'm enjoying her this season, I will say. So
Yeah, and speaking of Deandra, we learned she was engaged 13 times.
yeah, wow. Danielle.
Danielle Staub vibes much.
Yeah, although I think Danielle's probably up to 30 at this point. So
We're gonna have someone flip a table at Deandra. Engaged 13
13
times.
times.
And like again, I say God bless the Bravo producers with the like music they played when they showed how many times Deandra
Uh,
had been engaged.
Another thing, this is not with Dallas, but another thing I enjoyed about this week with the producers was when they gave a layout of the house on the Atlanta trip and they showed where each room was. I really enjoy when they do things like that. It just like visually, it's just very helpful for me.
So that's about it for Dallas. We're hoping the season picks up a little bit more, as we've been hoping since the first episode, but you never know. That being said, thank you so much for listening to episode 15 of The Word on the Street Is. We just love hosting this podcast, and thank you so much for listening.